The biggest mistakes people make when dating a dismissive avoidant attachment style usually come from doing things like trying harder instead of seeing more clearly. And in today's video, I'm going to break down for you the 5 biggest traps that people fall into when it comes to dating dismissive avoidance, why these patterns often backfire, what they actually say about you, and how to shift out of this cycle forever. Here's the very first mistake. This idea that overfunctioning on your end is going to help compensate for their underfunctioning on theirs. This could not be further from the truth, because here's why. This is what ends up happening. There's one trajectory you go down when you think that I'm going to overfunction by doing more and trying harder and trying to bridge the gap and texting more frequently and calling more often. And by me overfunctioning and overcompensating, that's how we're going to get closer. Usually the exact opposite thing happens. Not only does the dismissive avoidant feel not attuned to when it comes to the pace that they need to move at in dating and in a relationship, but the bigger things are that you don't communicate. You're fully missing the communication piece, which is what your needs are. You have to be able to say what your needs are and what you're looking for. So you can find that place in the middle where you meet, where you're like, I expect to talk this frequently. And my standards are that we do this many times a week that we see each other, or go on this many dates a month. That needs to be clear as day from your end, and you need to be sharing that, because what ends up happening, still on point number 1 here, is that then you just feel resentful. Your needs are not being met. You're trying harder. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to feel resentful. And then you're going to start becoming critical, because obviously you're trying to bridge that gap and you feel frustrated. And then as soon as you're critical, the person shuts down more. So we need to get you out of that loop by you deciding, number 1, that you are not going to overfunction to compensate for their underfunctioning. And this looks like instead replacing this pattern with a clear form of communication about what you're looking for and what your needs are in this relationship dynamic. And then you're going to vet and you're going to see how they respond. Number 2, confusing potential with progress. I'm going to tell you straight up, I know that dismissive avoidants get a bad rap on the internet. I get it. And I get also that my sample size is obviously people who want to come in and do the work. But I have had so many clients over the years who are dismissive avoidant, definitely a smaller sample size in total, maybe 10, 15% of people in total that would come to work with me back when I was running my practice. But when dismissive avoidants show up and do the work, they're fantastic. They're wonderful. They're steady. They're consistent. They become more open and available. They're really empathetic and they take other people into consideration. But that is specifically, and I mean specifically, the subset of people who choose to do the work, who choose to show up for that work. When people are not willing to do the work or are not interested in doing the work, then you end up seeing somebody just have this potential. They may have these moments of depth or moments of openness or moments of insight or effort, but moments in a relationship shouldn't be the exception. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, 1 out of every 30 times I spend time with this person, there's moments like this that show up and that happen. No, actual progress looks like this is becoming the norm, the baseline. There's momentum happening on a regular basis. Those moments are making up the majority of moments in the entirety of the relationship, not these things on the periphery that happen every so often. That's called intermittent reinforcement, and you're getting confused. So you need to be really looking hard at, okay, am I confusing potential with progress? Am I dating for potential? Am I hoping that because they have these moments every so often of being warm or being open or making an effort or initiating plans, because that's, happening every so often, once in a blue moon, it means that it's possible. That's potential. Okay. Progress is like the moments are happening so frequently that they're becoming the new baseline, and you need to be able to see the difference. Number 3. Okay. Huge number 3. Negative versus positive framing. I can't even begin to express how important this is. Negative framing is something that will never, ever get you heard by a dismissive avoidant. Dismissive avoidants do not respond to negative framing, but they respond very well to positive framing, especially if they're doing the work. What's the difference? Negative framing in communication looks like you saying, you're not making any effort. Do you even care about this relationship? I never hear from you. What's wrong? Versus, hey, I would love for us to communicate more consistently. That's definitely a huge need of mine in the relationship. And that looks like an evening checkpoint where we have a phone call or a FaceTime conversation for 10, 15 minutes before bed most evenings. Are you open to that? What you're doing is you're saying what you do want and what that looks like, instead of you're not doing this, you're this, you're that. Those things just cause a dismissive avoidant to become so deflated in relationships. They get so overwhelmed. They just feel criticized. And we know that dismissive avoidance, one of their major core wounds, according to integrated attachment theory, is the core wound of defectiveness or internalized shame. So they just end up feeling like they are shameful, and then they just shut down completely. And once they've shut down completely, well, now here they are in this shutdown mode, not feeling good about themselves. And as soon as they don't feel good about themselves, they end up going into this state of, why bother? Why am I even trying? Why do I'm not cut out for relationships like this. And they start telling that story based on their own core wounds. Positive framing goes such a long way. Negative framing does not. Number 4 of 5, abandoning your own needs to avoid pushing them away. This will never work. This ends up just creating a painful pattern in the relationship where you start trying to connect with a mask too, because you're being less honest, you're expressing yourself less, and you're trying to become less of yourself and less authentic to preserve connection. But dismissive avoidants don't connect to people pleasing. They connect to understanding who you are, and they're very much attracted to you having your own sense of identity. So when you people please by suppressing your needs and not taking up too much space, thinking that that's bridging a gap for connection, it's not. Communicating your needs and taking up space, but in a healthy, confident way, actually tells them that you have your own sense of self, you have your own interests, you are a unique person, and they actually find that very attractive. I just wanted to pop in here and let you know we are doing a 7-day free trial to the All Access Membership Pass at PDS, which means you get access to literally everything inside of the school. And this includes the 4 live webinars I do with our students every single week. And on top of that, you get access to all of our different courses. We have over 55 different courses on relationships, communication, boundaries, emotional mastery, guilt and shame, learning your needs, so many different facets that are really important to master our lives and feel really good about our lives going forward. And last but not least, there's a daily community event. We have trained facilitators and coaches who are in there doing that work, showing up to support you on your journey every single day. Please join me on the other side. Come check it out. See if it's a fit for you. I'd love to see you there. Go ahead and sign up by clicking the link in the description box below. Here's the last piece, okay? One of our most important things you have to understand. You need to make sure that you do not give up your sense of self in this relationship to date the avoidant. And this means that your biggest mistake may be falling into codependent patterns, spending less time with your friends and family and on your hobbies and on your career goals because you are putting this person at the center of your universe, thinking, oh, I'll just cancel plans if they say that they are available at the last minute. I'll cancel what I'm doing. The more you do that, the more resentment you're going to create in this dynamic, and the more you're actually divorcing yourself. And the more you end up disconnecting from yourself, pushing your own needs away, giving up these things that make you who you are in the other areas of life, the more resentment and painful conflict will inevitably show up in a romantic relationship, because you can't not be frustrated at somebody when you're sacrificing all that you are, and dismissive avoidants are not going to be doing the same thing. In fact, a lot of people who end up dating dismissive avoidants operate by covert contracts. In other words, this idea that I'm just going to give up all these parts of myself, and then eventually you will too. Codependency is the bug here, not the feature. It's not what we're actually looking for. So what we need instead are healthy boundaries, maintaining your hobbies, maintaining who you are in the other areas of life. And if you feel like your needs are not being met, the answer will never be to give up yourself or make yourself smaller. The answer will be to communicate directly, because that is precisely what securely attached people do. And that is precisely what make healthy relationships work. So that's your work here. I hope this gives you some really great insight. And I want you to know that dating a dismissive avoidant does not ever mean betraying yourself in the name of patience. The healthiest thing you can bring into any relationship is not endless tolerance in the name of self-sacrifice. It's a clarity, it's boundaries, and it's a willingness to tell the truth about what is and isn't being built. And you can do that here. Just the fact that you're here to learn about this shows so much about who you are and where you're going in your relationship future. And I want you to know that I'm here to support you in that. And if you have questions, let me know in the comments down below. And I hope you join us here in the community, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our daily videos or often free gifts and giveaways that I'm doing on a regular basis here. Thanks for watching.